Hello, hello again, esports and video game fans. We're back with another episode of Kentucky Esports Weekly, the University of Kentucky's esports Twitch show that is wonderfully refreshed by Coca-Cola. I am your host, Nathan Stevens. As we are heading towards the finish line for this spring semester, which has been an oddity to say the least, we have some things to look forward to. So we have basically video game news that is coming out like as if it was E3, and hopefully we get to hear a bit more about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, get to see some price points, get to just maybe get some good video game announcements that add just a tiny bit of sprinkle of normalcy to this whole situation. I suspect we're going to be seeing that early to mid-May, and just regular announcements kind of in a Nintendo Direct fashion coming out from everybody. But it will certainly be a nice, refreshing course for well, what we've been through the last month or so. So yeah, hanging our hats on news and going from there. Speaking of which, until we get those announcements and drum up some excitement, let's get right into some quick hitters in the esports industry. Get this thing started. All right, starting it off, Epic Games announced a $2 million Fortnite Championship Series. This, according to Andrew Hayward at Esports Insider. The series will feature hundreds of players and a $2 million pot. There will be 7 regions of the world featured in the tournament, including North America, Europe, and Asia. Apparently, Antarctica has nobody. There will be 500 players in each of the 7 regions, with about 400 being selected by performance alone in the game. While the time and date are still being decided, the tournament will certainly catch the interest of those still loving Fortnite. I know that the older crowd here is sometimes very disdainful of Fortnite, the older crowd here being my teenage daughters. I'm sure my kids are going to give their best shot. I have a couple of younger kiddos in the household who love Fortnite, so they'll probably give it a go if they can get there. But anyway, if somebody could win millions in the household, that'd be fantastic. But that's pretty neat from Epic Games announcing that and keeping that Fortnite Championship series alive and going. I know they've done it before in the past, but this seems like a big one. So anyway, staying with esports and thing, shifting from shooters to old-time sports and new-time structures. MLB The Show is going live on ESPN. This is according to June Lee at ESPN.com. Apparently, baseball is Mr. something, and ESPN is hell-bent on bringing it back. ESPN's June Lee is reporting that Sony's MLB The Show's online tournament, The Show's Players League, is heading to ESPN starting May 1st, where they will be showing the final 10 days of the tournament. If you're not familiar with the MLB The Show, it's one of the more realistic baseball games out on the market. In fact, outside of backyard baseball, it might be the go-to. Well, it is the go-to. Sony and its development studio, San Diego studio, pretty much has wiped the video game floor. I know they kind of ran 2K out of the ballpark with their efforts, and they just kind of, I don't know. The game is just amazingly good. It keeps getting better every year. They don't sit on their laurels. But it might actually be more entertaining than regular baseball, which is, to be quite honest, as a Reds fan, not that far off. So anyway, moving along. File this next one under Ford versus Ferrari, a movie I rewatched over the weekend. Fabulous story. Wonderful cast, perfectly done. Deserved all the praise that it received. So Torque Esports has signed a deal with Discovery Inc.'s Eurosports channel to live stream broadcasts of Torque Esports, the Race All-Star Series. If you're wondering, yes, this is the same Discovery Inc. that has the Discovery Channel underneath its wings. It's a company that shows gold miners, crab boats, and the best week of the year, which is Shark Week. Discovery Eurosports channel will be broadcasting races from Torque Esports, featuring professional drivers racing against online racing esports professionals. Everybody is, in fact, professional. And that's about 80 competitors going at it a week, that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of things. So Torque and Eurosports are going to be super busy. It's a win-win for everybody, to be honest. And speaking of more win-win, because win-win is a good win-win right now, PUBG Corporation is going to be starting their charity showdown soon for their PUBG Continental Series. I know we've been talking about PUBG a lot for the last few shows, but it's certainly worth mentioning them again when it comes to charity. If you don't know much about the event, the PUBG Continental Series charity showdown is a PUBG tournament where the PUBG Corporation rewards the winning team with $100,000 USD, as well as an additional $100,000 for a charity of their choice. So the charity showdown begins May 21st and runs through the 24th. This past week, the good folks at PUBG released a detailed tournament breakdown on their website for those interested in the showdown. There's a lot of neat, interesting tidbits about not only the showdown, but other things. Online tournaments that they're going to be holding in the future, how those are going to go, all those details are on there, and it's definitely worth a read. Now, who knows, maybe the positive side of all this mess is how companies are going to find new and good ways to showcase video game competitions, even when in-person events start happening again. So regardless, good stuff. That is your set of quick hitters, folks. Hope you enjoy them as much as you're going to enjoy Hailey and Tyler with industry news. Take it away.
Hello, I'm Hailey Salyers.
And I'm Tyler Ralston.
And welcome to this week's industry news. Last week, fans were concerned after Valve experienced a source code leak that went public on April 21st. The leak impacted Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Team Fortress 2. While some fans were worried the source leak could lead to cheats in the games, others were concerned about broader security risks outside of the games. Though the servers were shut down, Valve's official statement on the incident says that the leaked code was reposted from a leak in 2018, and that they, quote, have not found any reason for players to be alarmed or avoid the current builds, end quote.
In other news this week, NVIDIA has released a new program dubbed RTX Voice for their early access beta testers to try out. This software uses NVIDIA RTX graphics cards and artificial intelligence to remove background noise from voice recordings and even live broadcasts. The results are honestly incredibly impressive, being able to remove the most common sounds such as keyboard noises and loud children to drumming on the desk, fans blowing directly towards the microphone, or even nearby sirens. However, a sizable number of people have been testing the software and have discovered that with a bit of tinkering, it is possible to use it on older cards such as the 1060 with little performance loss. This has led some to speculate that its limited access and naming is a marketing move to push for the far more expensive and newer GPUs. With all this discussion on the topic and the discovery that it works on older hardware, NVIDIA could possibly open it up to this older hardware, or not. Only time will tell.
The trailer for Desperados 3 is out now. Developed by Mimimi Games and published by THQ Nordic, Desperados 3 will serve as a prequel to Desperados Wanted Dead or Alive. Players will follow John Cooper, his gang, and his quest for redemption through the Wild West. In addition to the trailer, players can find screenshots, wallpapers, and other videos on the game's official website. Desperados 3 is now available for pre-order for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
And in some more gaming news, the ongoing pandemic has created a surge in video game sales as self-isolating people across the globe try to find ways to spend their sudden abundance of extra time. However, the obvious health concerns of a close quarters working environment have also forced many studios to close down and have their employees work from home. Larian Studios, the developers behind the Divinity series of D&D-styled RPGs, is one studio facing these setbacks. Their boss, Sven Vink, made the statement earlier this week that although the studio has had their progress reduced, they are still on track to establish an early access release of their current in-progress title, the third installment to the cult classic Baldur's Gate series. As it currently stands, progress may be slowed, but we may reasonably expect to see some new content from the game soon.
And in other gaming news, Death Stranding, a critically acclaimed game, yet one that also faced some criticism for its slower gameplay and strange storyline, was released for the PS4 in November of last year. Players take on the role of legendary deliveryman Sam Bridges, characterized and voiced by Norman Reedus. For some, playing as Bridges in a surreal post-apocalyptic America, as he traverses beautiful scenery and tries to reconnect the remnants of society, was a treat, and one that would only get better with the power of a PC. However, Death Stranding's PC release is being delayed due to the temporary closing of Kojima Productions' offices to slow the spread of the coronavirus. The studio hopes that this extra time will allow for proper alterations and support for features such as high frame rate and ultra-wide support. and will at launch include the photo mode that was added to the console version via a later patch. Originally set for June 2nd, Kojima Productions has pushed the release date to July 14th.
In the final bit of news, for many Nintendo fans, being able to create a personally tailored level of Mario, whether for the clever design, entertaining experience, or underhanded tricks to torture the unfortunate player, it was the greatest of dreams. This dream was finally realized when Nintendo released Super Mario Maker and the sequel Super Mario Maker 2. Players worldwide could create unique experiences using a wide range of pieces throughout Mario's selection of platforming titles. However, now with the new World Maker update introduced in Super Mario Maker 2, the community can take it one step further. Instead of simply creating a level and letting players find it among the sea of other creations, authors can now take individual levels and place their creations all together into entire worlds, from starting point to the castle that actually holds the princess you are looking for, and all the bonuses in between. This new update brings in old enemies such as the Koopalings, Mecha Koopas, and more, as well as a variety of power-ups from the series as a whole. This marks the final free update to Super Mario Maker 2, and it was released on April 22nd. So if you need to leave your mark in the Mario Maker community, now is your chance.
That's it for this week's industry news. Nathan, back to you.
Well, thank you, Tyler and Hailey. As esports starts to find its footing here in North America, computer and console accessory manufacturer Turtle Beach, who makes some pretty darn nice headsets and supports and sponsors a lot of esports teams, is helping to stoke the industry's online gaming competition flame, and it's certainly way ahead of the game. It's been way ahead of the game for a little bit. So our favorite Kentucky Esports Weekly interviewer, Ben Brascum, got to sit down with Nick Bourne, a representative of Turtle Beach, to discuss esports and some other things.
Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. Today I have a special guest with me, Nick Bourne from Turtle Beach. Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's good, that's good. It's an honor to have you all here and speak to you all directly. So kind of, if you don't mind, give us a little bit of background on you and yourself in the games industry and how you came to be where you're at. And also just maybe, if you can, a little bit of history on Turtle Beach and how you ended up working for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Turtle Beach is actually a 45-year-old company. We've always been a kind of a pioneer in audio technology. We started off making synthesizers in the 1970s, developed through making PC sound cards in the 80s and 90s, and then pioneered the gaming headset category, and that's where we are now, and where we're a market leader. So we're very happy to be here. We've taken an interesting journey, but we really bring all of that expertise and that history of audio, both processing, innovation, into everything we do now on consoles and now on PC. So we are Turtle Beach. We are the number one gaming audio company in the world. We make headsets for Xbox, for PlayStation, for Switch, for PC. We have a PC brand called Rocket, which makes PC peripherals. So that's mice, keyboards, mouse pads. Also makes audio products and different things. So we have a really nice wide selection of gaming products, and yeah, we're just kind of rocking on, and I'm really happy to be in this space at this time. It's great. My story, I've always worked in gaming. When I came out of college, I managed to get a job. I was very lucky. I got a job, a very low-level marketing job for a gaming peripheral company, and we made own brand accessories. I lived in the UK, lived in London, and I went from marketing through product to business development, back to product. The company I worked for got bought by Turtle Beach while we were their distributor. So that's how I ended up working for Turtle Beach. I worked for 10 or 12 years in product development, and now I've run our partnerships division for the last just over 3 years.
Nice. So what year then did Turtle Beach get bought by that, or get purchased that product company you worked for?
That was 2012, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been involved in the business for a long time.
Nice. No, I mean, I had known Turtle Beach, and I feel like most people do, is the gaming headset company. So hearing the fact that you all have been around for so long was
so long.
Shocking.
Yeah.
So
that's... Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And different people have different experiences of Turtle Beach. A lot of kind of older people have, I had your guys' sound cards. I was, that's cool. You guys are doing this now? Yes, we get, it's really, it's really cool to see those reactions from different kind of different areas of different age groups as we're going through. But yeah, it's a great.
That's awesome. That's
great thing to have so much.
That's crazy.
So much history in space. Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, I had experience with older headsets and stuff back in the past when I started gaming, and then I remember getting Turtle Beach, and I was like, oh, they're probably a young company. They're probably like 10 or 12 years old, and this was around 2012, so that just kind of blew my mind a little bit. So thank you for that. I want to talk to you all about the phenomenon of esports and its popularity and explosion. Can you just talk about what that means? First off, in your own opinion, what that means, and second, as the company of Turtle Beach, what that means for you?
I think it's potentially a culture-changing kind of phenomenon, now and has been for the last 5 years. And I think the fan base is incredibly passionate. It also has its own distribution medium, which is kind of unique for gaming. Gaming has Twitch and YouTube and Caffeine and Mixer, and these platforms which grew up digitally with the movement. A lot of people talk about esports breaking onto TV like it's the thing that it needs. Esports doesn't, I don't think esports needs TV in the way that traditional sports does. And I think the interesting thing we're seeing right now, during this weird time of quarantine and this very difficult time of COVID, is we are seeing traditional sports looking to esports for inspiration now, and that's a really nice thing to see. Turtle Beach has been involved in esports for certainly as long as I've been involved in the company. We were a founding partner of MLG back in the day, so we were MLG's official partner back before they were purchased by Activision. So when they were an independent company running tournaments, we were working. I've worked many a tournament setting up headsets and audio rigs, and we moved from working with MOG, working with Call of Duty directly, having the Call of Duty sets of headsets, which we have had in the past, now to working much more with teams and influencers and personalities within the esports space. And that's been a slow evolution. And it's really come from gamers' interest. Gamers want to know more about the personalities, about the teams, about the people that drive esports. Esports as a phenomenon is kind of like basketball. It's just nebulous, but the people, the stories, the underdogs, the rivalries, the things that really make it interesting. And obviously, being in college, you guys have a very keen sense of that. How much that rivalry culture and that history can really drive interest and drive fandom. And I think that's something that esports is now coming to, is really now coming to fruition within esports, even as formats change, even as we now introduce franchising and different things like that. You've still got the lineage of the personalities involved, and you've got old rivalries, you've got new rivalries, you've got cities now involved, you've got local fan bases, you've got, all of these things are coming together, which makes it an incredibly exciting time for esports and gaming in general.
Mm-hmm. That's actually, you bring up the argument of it being televised versus it not being televised. It's something that, I feel like I've heard so much of in my lifetime was its big break needs to be on cable networks and stuff like that. And hearing the argument of, no, it's fine on Twitch and YouTube and Mixer and wherever it's at, that really is something that I kind of thought about, but never really truly understood. And if we're being honest, that's where I get most of my content now. If I have a television, it's just 9 times out of 10 on in the background with something to make noise. Most of the time I am watching a Twitch stream or I'm watching a YouTube edited Let's Play. So that's something I never really thought about. So that's a really cool perspective. And I'm sure you all get to see a firsthand basis of that, just helping work with esports teams and being such a major company.
Working with teams, working with personalities, we have a very distinguished influencer roster and a very distinguished team roster, and we see the numbers on Twitch and on YouTube for the stuff they're putting out, and it's hundreds of thousands of people, and it's tens of thousands of people watching live, even for the smaller events, hundreds of thousands, even 1 million for the big CS:GO events, and that's just English speaking streams. So you've got all these different kind of fan bases, you've got different games that appeal to different fan bases, geographically and culturally. And I think there's an awful lot there to kind of expand upon and to really build upon as we go forward.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I feel like I've talked about with everyone that I've interviewed, it's just constantly a growing thing right now. It's constantly evolving. So I want to ask, from a business standpoint, of such a major company, what does it take to get into esports? Like, what does it take for a company to just like what is the business situation like constantly? I'm sure, I don't know if it's constantly evolving, but I'm sure it's definitely a lot different from a normal like business deal, but I don't know. So please tell me more.
It is, and I think we don't start from the business side. We start from the personality and actually from the products. And my background is in product development, and actually how I came to work with the teams. The first interaction I had with the teams, I was taking them and demonstrating and a product we built for esports pros, and we spent 4 years building a product called the Elite Pro, which I led development on, and that was a huge project that we worked with MOG on, we worked with pros on, we worked with fans on, really developing new innovations, a fully suspended headband, cooling ear cushions, a brand new noise isolating microphone, brand new drivers. Everything about it was really built to make these guys better. So I think that's from a company point of view where we start, is you have to have the product that these guys want to use. And it really starts from there. And we don't enter any partnership without the guys either already or, really loving what we take to them in terms of product, because it starts there. I don't want to pay you money to pretend that you like the things that we make. There's too much of that in sports, and I'm not going to comment on competitors, but there's too much of that in the world where you see now the influencer culture and people clearly being paid to hawk something or to sell something. And I think the way that we go into these partnerships is very much from a human element, which is, hey, we love your work, we love the team, we love what you do, and we would love to work with you. But first, it starts from here. Is there a product you like? Is there something we can do together? Starting from that basis, and then really looking for diversity in our portfolio, and that's the other side of it. We have a really nicely diversified roster right now. We have Astralis, top CS:GO team in the world. We have Chicago Huntsmen, the top Call of Duty team in the world. We have NRG, one of the top entertainment, and also Rocket League world champions last year. With fantastic teams and influencers under them. And then we have the Houston Outlaws, one of the most followed teams in the Overwatch League. And there's not a lot of duplication there. We are looking at this space, and it's such a diverse space. We are looking at how can we talk to each of the different sets of fan bases about the product they're interested in through the best personalities in each space. And we truly believe in partnering in that way with the very best in each in each space. We have very long-standing relationships with people like Hector, who runs NRG, Optic Hex, or Hex now, back from the Optic days. Mm-hmm. He's been a very good personal friend for years, and we've worked with him for 4 or 5 years now through, even back before that, we knew him through MLG, and then working with Optic Gaming, and now, transitioning to working with him more directly and working with NRG is just, that's kind of, about the lineage of the personalities within esports, that you've got these kind of, founding members, these kind of cornerstones of the space, who are still, doing incredible things. And he's certainly an example of that, someone who's really taken on now the change to franchising in Call of Duty, and taking it on as a new challenge, kind of assembling a new team, getting his own heritage in the city of Chicago, for instance, and that really speaking to the local fans, and then bringing his own and Scump and Formal and those, the fans of the former Optic team with him to this new venture. And I think, what really drives us is those stories. It's those people. Mm-hmm. It's something that Hector actually taught me a long time ago, which was, this is competitive entertainment. There is the competitive aspects and there's the entertainment aspects, and the very best do both. I really truly believe that there is an element that you compete to win, but so much of the time you're not competing. It's like a college athlete, you're not always on the field. So it's, how you carry yourself off the field. And from these guys' point of view, it's the entertainment they can provide, and the work that they do, the streams, the videos, the vlogs. They are celebrities and personalities in their own right now, and they really do carry themselves like that. So there is just so much potential there to kind of really expand and keep working with these truly great personalities. And there are so many of them within the industry. But yeah, we're very lucky to be partnered with the roster of incredible partners that we have.
Wow, first off, I didn't realize how many partners you had. That's a long list and a very stacked list, number one, but also just like the level of personability that you're having with these people, and like showing that you care about, number one, the product you make enough to show them, hey, we care enough about you and what your opinions are and quality is. And that trickles down into every daily user, like me or my roommates that play games or my friends or, whatever. So that's just that's really awesome to hear a major company like yourselves do.
And that's,
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, just to jump in, because that reminded me, one of the other things that we really do value with these guys is their input on product. These guys are the best product development assets we can have. We have the best players in the world across the top games that as you said, you and I are playing. And, getting their insights on what they need to hear, what they want to experience, how they're hearing the game, what, we've done a huge amount of kind of testing, and that testing, those results go into new product development and into product updates and things like that. So we have used our roster as marketing and brand tools, but also as incredibly valuable product development assets. I once, within 36 hours, flew to Copenhagen to test all of the Astralis guys' hearing, and we individually tuned headsets for each of them, not just for Astralis, for each individual player, and they wore them on stage and won a major championship. And that's the kind of thing that, those readings actually then formed out, making the Elite Atlas headset. So the sound settings within the Elite Atlas are tuned by Astralis to be a better audio experience for you playing CS. So it's using all the assets we have available, an incredible engineering team, an incredible production team, and also using, this incredible partnership kind of roster that we have to drive innovation into our products, and not just, kind of new innovation that we're doing from an engineering point of view. It's tweaking that final kind of 5%, that final 10%, just getting it to the level where those guys are winning tournaments and are, really succeeding in our product. And that's what we all want.
Wow, I've never heard of anyone flying 36 hours to tune on headsets, but that sounds pretty cool.
It was a fun trip. It was rough, but it was worth it. Yeah,
oh, I'm sure of it. I do have one last question for you, and it's the hardest question of all. What are you playing right now?
Oof, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, the hardest game I'm playing right now is Going Outside.
That's a good one.
It feels like an old school platform where you have to avoid people, and you have to kind of jump over things, and you have to kind of dodge out of the way of people and stay 6 feet away. And it feels, I was talking to someone the other day, and we were just chatting through, and it's like life feels like a video game right now. It feels, how long can you stay inside? Can you avoid people when you go out? Going to the grocery store feels like you got to kind of dodge and weave and kind of duck around people. But from a video game point of view, I'm playing a lot of Warzone, and I'm playing a little bit of Animal Crossing. I haven't fully, succumbed to the Tom Nook.
Yeah, you haven't bought into the debt that he's going to give you soon, I'm sure.
Not quite. I was trying to be slightly contrary, so I picked up Stardew Valley again, just to So I've been, it's a nice kind of calming thing in my life right now is exercise, and Stardew Valley has been keeping me going.
That's good. I've
my daily regimen. So
recently, so
yeah, it's nice to revisit, and it's a very very calming experience. So it's
nice. I'm glad it's calming for you.
I had to live a very socially isolated life on my farm.
Yeah, I understand that completely. So, well, Nick, thank you so much for this. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ben. So hopefully Turtle Beach can keep that esports momentum pushing forward and just seriously make it something that's here to stay. Speaking of pushing, Nick Hughes and his group of beautiful wackadoodles are back with Push Talk. Let's get right into it.
Hello, gamers. It's me, Elias Conwell, and also
Elias Conwell.
And Elias Conwell.
I'm Elias Conwell.
who's the real one? We'll never know.
It's true.
To get started, there was a fat Last of Us 2 leak. Like yesterday, I think, or something like that.
Yes.
Last of Us 2 being delayed was already a heartbreaker, but the leak is just devastating. I'm not going to be looking at it. Did any of you all play Last of Us?
No, I didn't actually.
Mm-mm.
I don't have a PS4 or PS3 or anything.
What is this? And is Elias frozen? No, there he is.
He's like half frozen, I think.
We'll change that. I had The Last of Us actually spoiled for me back in the day. I was on Reddit and someone just put it straight in the title with no spoiler tag or anything, and I was big mad. So I shan't be letting that happen again.
Yeah, I wouldn't. How long is it delayed? When is this?
I don't know if they've given a definite date. I feel like they haven't given it a definite date yet.
Yeah, they just.
But
said
either way,
indefinitely.
yeah, any delay is
It's still sad. Yeah.
big sad. It makes you wonder, though, how much sales would be affected if they did drop during quarantine stuff. I mean, obviously they'd be affected a decent amount, but I wonder how many people would just suck it up and buy digital. Like,
A lot, I would think.
I think a lot, because I'm a diehard. I like having a physical copy still when I can, as opposed to buying digital. But I think for like that, or for a game I really wanted to play, I would absolutely 110% get digital. It's just worth it for a game.
I've been getting digital. Like I got Final Fantasy VII digital.
Mm-hmm. It's just too convenient.
Yeah. My thing is,
especially with like the console generation. I think if you have something digital, it will like automatically transfer over than like having to like exchange your physical game. I think, unless they do like backwards compatible discs or something.
You guys remember that PS5 rumor a long time ago that it would be backwards compatible with every single PlayStation like version? I think that's been like a long time now, but I remember
that rumor, which is just
I don't know if that was ever confirmed.
absolutely
Dude, I don't know,
ridiculous.
man.
There's no way. There's
If I can play
absolutely no
PS2
way.
games again,
For real, I've kept my Kingdom Hearts discs for such an occasion.
Nice.
I don't have a PS2, but I have my discs.
Yeah, that's smart.
Animal Crossing, someone had
Elijah Wood.
a fat Bell's price
Elijah Wood.
posted, and Elijah Wood visited. So now I think it's everyone's goal to just, as soon as they get a ridiculously high sell price for Bell's, to just post it online and hope a celebrity visits them.
Yeah.
dude. I wonder if that's like.
I don't know what I would do if a celebrity visited my Animal Crossing island. I'd probably like get all my friends together and then put some sort of weird cult together with like some weird face paint and just all greet them.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think
All
it's
of
a
them
good
around.
idea to like advertise your island. It's like, oh, Elijah Wood's been to my island, and then like other people are going to try to.
Yeah, but like having people to your island does nothing past a certain point. So
Yeah,
if anything, I'd be like, please stay away. I just want to play the game.
Exactly.
Closing
Speaking of
my
Animal Crossing, Nick and I can't connect to each other for some reason.
It's
Can't get that connection.
it's ridiculous. Jude is the only person. Elias, top left Elias, is the only person that I can't connect to. Like he can visit my island, but I can't visit him.
Yeah, it's really
There's
So
we have
weird.
we have the same NAT type, and I've not had this with anyone else. It's ridiculous. I hate it. Animal
Yeah.
Crossing's trash. We're boycotting it now. Everyone return
That's
your
it.
digital copies. Yeah, it's done.
I can't
Animal Crossing
visit
is
my friend's
canceled.
island with boycotting.
my thing is, I was thinking, man, this April update gonna be good. Art,
Yeah.
hype. And now I play it, and I'm like,
Right? I'm just trying to play it, and the update is just exquisite, and then I can't connect to Jude.
yeah,
So,
the update is really good, honestly. But I'm finally at the point with it where I pick it up for like an hour a day, and that's it now. my island still isn't 5 stars, but I have literally no desire to make it 5
I don't think my island will ever be 5 stars. I don't know how it happens. It's ridiculous.
I can't even get a 3-star.
I'm so tired.
What do you have to do to?
Isabel's
All right.
What do you have to do to
This
raise the
happens
star?
to us every. No one cares, Elias. No one cares because you won't get it.
Bottom right, Elias.
I guess I gotta find out myself.
All right, Elias. I know that you had something to speak to us about concerning PS5 versus Xbox download times, load times,
Yeah,
something.
So, I guess
Turn
it's
that
called,
spicy debate to 11.
The load time speed race. They're trying to one up each other right now. I think Xbox is currently winning.
But like by how much? Like I feel like at a certain point, it's got to be not that noticeable of a difference, right? Because they're both packing in as much like processing power as they can.
Well, Xbox has increased the speed by 4 without even changing any like coding. It's just like all hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And so once they start putting in like the coding for it, it's going to be even faster than that. Right now, I just know that the PS5 is, I think, 2.82 seconds faster than the PS4 Pro right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did it with like Spider-Man or something like that.
That's such a negligible difference. So with that, moving on to how interesting Twitch concerts are.
Oh,
it's cool that they're happening.
Okay.
I get it, but yeah, I'm with top left Elias. It's got to be so awkward, like especially like the EDM ones, like Zed, Deadmau5, etc. Like, can you imagine like a person just sitting in their room all alone, maybe with like their small production team, just trying their hardest to like
get the hype.
hit Twitch chat hype, but everyone's just dropping PogChamp in chat. And
yeah,
it's
dude,
just gotta be so awkward. And like,
dude, me and my buddy, actually Saturday went to the Travis Scott Fortnite one, and we were just like, "Why are we here?" It's like,
yeah.
Wait, so was that like? How does that work? Did everyone just drop into a match?
Yeah, so everyone drops into a match, and
could someone, if they wanted to, just start mowing people down?
Well, you can mow people down before and after the concert, but while the concert's happening, you can't kill anyone.
No violence during the concert? Trash.
Nope.
Moving on. Absolute garbage. Moving on. GTA is leaving. GTA is leaving Game Pass. Red Dead's coming to it really fast. We got like 30 seconds left. Everyone, which one's better, GTA or Red Dead? Starting with top left Elias, a.k.a. Jude.
Red Dead 2, terrible game. Greatest game I've ever played.
I'll hear it.
Oh, okay.
Bottom Elias. Bottom right Elias, which is Morgan.
Oh, I'm top right. On your view. From my view.
So which one? GTA or Red Dead?
Red Dead.
Okay.
All the way.
Yeah.
All right. Imposter Elias, bottom left.
I gotta go with GTA for me.
You're my man!
I gotta go GTA.
GTA. Obviously both great games, but GTA is gas.
Yeah, especially online. I think GTA Online has been like really good, at least compared to.
You've got pals. GTA Online
Red Dead 2 story. Red Dead 2 story. So good.
I was there for the plot.
The sauce.
Yeah.
The sauce.
It really has the sauce. The game itself, like I said, hate it, but the story is so good.
I know.
All right.
It is.
It was a good show. Jackie loved to top esports in the LPL, huh? League of Legends. Top esports beat Invictus Gaming by a landslide. It was a really big deal because Invictus was number 1. No?
I don't really follow LOL. Sorry.
I don't know anything
well, that's for all the League people who watch this, which maybe there's like 2 because League
Shout
is
out to
horrible.
you.
Yeah, we're all
still play League?
addicted. Wow, Elias.
I still know a lot of people who play League.
All right. Bye, Elias, and Elias. This is Elias signing off. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you, everybody in that group. You guys are wacky. Well, we are wrapping up here, and we still got a few things to do. So we're bringing Alex Guttadine into the show, and he's going to give you some reminders about what's going on. Hello. So take it away, Alex. It's all you, man.
Well, it's just the same thing. Nothing new, but we are still promoting our first speaker event, Esports Speaker Series. That'll be next week with Manan Rahman. He'll be talking about iRacing. So tune in for that. We'll give you another reminder next week, but that's Thursday next week at 4 p.m.
That is going to be cool. Something to do while some of you are figuring out how to graduate and get out of the semester. I know that we are in dead week right now, so
and he'll take us through how he used iRacing while as a student at UK, and then uses that in his career now. And he was in the engineering department and now works for a race team. So exciting stuff using video game technology and simulator technology, and should be a really exciting time.
That's pretty cool. That is very cool. I'm looking forward to that. All right. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So as we did last time, we actually ended the show with some questions to each other. So I've got some good ones, and I think I went first last time. So
I think I may have gone first. So you can lead us off.
Fine. Okay. So this is our 5-question segment where Alex and I ask each other 5 video game related questions to see if the other knows it. It could span anywhere from recent stuff, like if I asked him, what did Ubisoft just announce like 10 minutes ago? He would say Assassin's Creed Valhalla. All the way back to when we were both like super duper kids, Alex is younger than me, but
you were a super duper kid. I was a mediocre kid.
My brothers would tell you otherwise. So this is anything's game. So here we go. First question, and this was a toughie. I ran this by the team today to see, I always try it out. I want to see what they thought, and nobody could get it. So what was the first arcade title that Nintendo brought to America?
I'm going to say Mario Brothers.
So far off. So Donkey Kong came before that, and there was a game before Donkey Kong.
So I'm thinking about not Super Mario Brothers, but the single screen Mario Brothers.
Yeah, the one with like the 4 pipes where the turtles and things come through, and you have to hit
and you're jumping up platforms.
I learned so many curse words in that game, mainly from my brothers. But before that, so Mario Brothers is your guess. That's
it's clearly wrong. I can't think of another game. I'm sure I'll recognize it, but I can't think of it.
The first game that Nintendo brought over in arcade form was Radar Scope.
Oh, okay.
So the joy of Radar Scope, it was the most audibly annoying game in arcades, to the point where I think there were like 3,000 that actually shipped to America. 1,000 of them was sold, and most of those got unplugged and put in the back of arcades because the noises that machine made were so terrible. And eventually, Shigeru Miyamoto was volunteered against his will to step in and find a solution. Otherwise, Nintendo was going to pull out. And Donkey Kong was thus born. So there you go.
Nice.
There's some
I knew Nintendo as a card game manufacturer, so I just bought their cards.
That's way back in the day.
Wait, when was that? The early 1900s or something?
That would be the late 1800s.
Okay. All right. So question 1 for you. This may be, since you are such a Sega fan, this might be a gimme. All right. You have to finish this phrase.
Oh my God.
Genesis does.
What Nintendo don't.
Nice. I was gonna have to sing it if you needed a hint. I was prepared to sing it, but
if you did that, all I can picture is Joe Montana turning around, singing it and pointing, and Buster Douglas.
Yes.
That was an aggressive campaign by Sega too. Very, very un-Japanese. So
it was. So it was. They had an aggressive marketing campaign to differentiate themselves from Nintendo.
They did.
Under Michael Katz
That poor guy. He survived about a year and some change with them before getting replaced by Tom Kalinske. They were friends, and Tom actually had to fire Michael.
Yeah, that was in that book we talked about last week.
Yeah, that's brutal. All right, this one might be an easy one. In fact, I know it will be because you've already answered this, whether you know it or not. NEC, November, whatever EC, designed a system and released it in the 90s. What was it called?
Which one?
Are
you talking about the Turbo Graphics, the Turbo Duo, the Turbo Express? Gosh, I can't think of the other ones right now. They made a couple other different handhelds. Yeah, I'm a big Turbo Graphics 16 fan. They had lots of shooters. R-Type was R-Type on the Turbo Graphics.
R-Type was. Yep. Splatterhouse premiered on that.
Yeah.
And, I think Bonk made his way to it.
Yep, Bonk and Bonk's alter ego with the lightning bolt on the forehead.
Oh, I don't know this one.
Gosh, that.
Please tell me it's Bonk or something like that.
Gosh, there was a shooter game, and you were basically Bonk, but you had a lightning bolt on your head. It'll come to me in a little bit. But yeah, that was a fantastic system. We were talking about Dracula X earlier. My favorite. That's my favorite Castlevania game, and it had the best soundtrack probably of any video game.
That was it.
So yeah,
the clip you played was really good.
Sometimes I put that on in the background, and I'll just play through all the music, and I'll go from one track to the next, and I'll think like, okay, that's all the tracks I liked. Then another one will come on. It was an amazing time.
That was that Turbo CD? Was that the?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
That was a good. It came from the desert. Always intrigued me, but I know it was a complete terrible game. So that's full motion video games are my jam. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, got some what, Night Trap? Is that your jam?
You know, when they released that on the PlayStation 4, I was giddy. I was like, oh, they cleaned it up. You get special features. They actually have like a behind the scenes and how they did it. And it was gorgeous. And then one of my students told me, she was like, you know, they got that for the Switch now. And I was like, oh,
nice.
I don't need it, but
I'll get some 3DO questions ready for you next week.
Oh, I'll be prepared. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Question 2. Name the term used in Genesis marketing campaigns used to give the impression that the hardware was faster than competing platforms.
This would be blast processing.
Yes.
It sold Sonic so hard. So hard.
And then I watched a video feature on blast processing just to do some background research on this question. And turns out blast processing was actually a glitch that was discovered in the hardware that allowed you to basically use up 100% of your CPU time to paint any color to the screen. It had zero utilization in any games that were published. It was so unpredictable that you couldn't effectively write software for it. Somebody wrote some kind of algorithm recently, and there has been a Wolf 3D port using blast processing, but apparently it was a term heard in a meeting, and someone in marketing said, that's a great term, let's use it to sell the Genesis. So there's your blast processing. I hope I didn't just destroy any of your Genesis memories there.
No, I do. I've read that before, and I think Kalinske even told me when I talked to him that was a ruse. It wasn't. They had to do something because I know at the time Nintendo was promoting their Super Nintendo stuff, and they had like the different modes that were built into the hardware, like and mode 7 being
7.
Yes.
Yeah. And they had the FX chip too.
Oh yeah, that was actually an additional chip put into the cartridge for like Star Fox and yeah. This is good stuff. Good stuff. See, you all, if you didn't know all this history stuff, now you know it. You can go home you're probably at home anyway, and read up on ebooks about it. It's all out there. All right, here we go. So, what was the price point? This is a two-parter, by the way. What was the price point of SNK's Neo Geo AES system when it launched, and how much did the cartridges cost?
Gosh, okay. I know the price was so expensive that we couldn't afford it, and none of my friends had it. I know it's a lot. I don't know if it was quite 3DO money. The system, I'm going to say, was $4.99.
You were close. Now, Trip Hawkins, when I talked to him about the 3DO years ago, he claimed it was $4.99 when it came out, but it is not. You were very close. I know in your head.
Is it $3.99?
Nope. You're going the wrong direction. It is the base price for the Neo Geo AES system was $649 when it launched.
Gosh, now the games were like $2.99, weren't
yes, they were $2.99 a piece, which is equally ridiculous. So,
and we're talking about the Polymega, which will actually play original Neo Geo games. And the hardest part is those Neo Geo games are still expensive to collect. So yeah, I played some ROMs back in the day. But yeah, I'm a huge Neo Geo fan. Loved fighting games. Huge Neo Geo probably has more fighting games, at least at the time, than anybody else did. They had Mega Power, so that was a thing. But they had very large cartridge sizes, which was pretty cool.
Did you remember Samurai Showdown?
Oh, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or Samurai Showdown characters in the King of Fighters, or
King of Fighters.
Art of Fighting, World Heroes, Final Fight.
Oh my lord! You must have spent a lot of time.
Do you know the best? This is a bonus question. Do you know the best street fighting game for the SNK period?
No, I don't.
It's called Garo Mark of the Wolves. You got to check that one out. It's an amazing game. Back when I was playing ROMs, I played that one more than any other. Garo Mark of the Wolves. I think it was released later in the product cycle, but amazing fighting game. I'm a huge SNK fan, huge fighting game fan.
SNK had some things going on back in the day. They were really good. All right, so good. Well, go
Question 3. This is a special audio question. You have to tell me whose theme song this is. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Oh my lord, I know this.
Now, if you need, do you at least know what franchise it is from?
It sounds like Street Fighter.
Okay, you got that far. I've got another rendition that might help you out some more.
Is it Ryu?
Okay, this clip might not help you as much as I thought. It's not Ryu.
Well, that's Ryu. It's either... it's Guile.
Yes, Guile. Now, Guile's music is very... it's part of a meme as well, that Guile's theme music goes with anything. So check those out. You can probably find hundreds of videos out there with just there's one where it's a clip from Maury Povich, and he says, "You are not the father," and then it just leads off with a guy dancing to the Guile music, stuff like that. So those were actually written by Yoko Shimomura, who was responsible for a lot of the music in Street Fighter 2 and a lot of music in gaming. So yeah, that's so the Ryu. She wrote the Ryu music as well as a handful of others.
Oh man, I lived that arcade game. I might have spent an entire date with a girl in an arcade playing that when it first came out. It was terrible. That is awesome.
My best friend in 3rd grade, I remember he moved to I believe he moved to Washington, and the last day before he left, him and I went to the arcade together and played Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, and then we said goodbye. And I think I found him on Facebook, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's a way.
But yeah, that's my heartfelt Street Fighter 2 story.
That's a way to, if you're going to go out with a good friend relationship, that's completely on top. So that's awesome. Street Fighter's so good. Okay, true or false? there was a DVD version of the GameCube. Like a DVD
gosh.
full ROM version of the GameCube.
Well, why would you be asking me this question that sounds ridiculous. Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that. I'm going to say true just because I don't know why you would ask me.
Well, yeah, because people were really upset when the GameCube got released, and they were like, "We can't play movies in it. We can play movies in the PlayStation 2," and went from there. But there was Panasonic released a $1,000 GameCube that played GameCube games and played DVD movies.
Wow, because the GameCube discs were like tiny, right?
Yeah, there were mini DVDs that were specifically burned a different way so you couldn't copy them. Which I know, never challenge a community. That's the other lesson there.
That's wow. Panasonic has a history of releasing like third-party consoles at this point. Then
they do. Any company, electronic company, apparently that begins with a P, Philips, Pioneer, somehow dived into gaming at some point. I know Pioneer dived into a Laserdisc-based Sega CD game system where you could put Sega CDs into it and play it.
Wow.
Yeah, those are still $1,000, but yeah, they released it. I'm not sure it did so well, but it was a beautiful system, so you should check it out when you can.
Well, you've got something to look forward to. I have an obscure gaming hardware question coming up, but before that, we have this question founded by David Brevik, Eric Schaefer, Max Schaefer. And Max Schaefer. Condor Games was later known as what game developer?
Condor Games. Oh, that sounds so familiar. And I'm assuming Tim Schaefer is not part of that family.
I don't think so.
It's a.
But yeah, Eric Schaefer, Max Schaefer, David Brevik.
I don't know. You stumped me on that one.
That would later be known as Blizzard North.
Really?
So Blizzard North, known for their Diablo series. And they later were shut down, but some of those developers continued on to the main Blizzard. But yeah, at one point they were acquired, and Blizzard Games and Blizzard North were two different companies. But one of the biggest franchises that the company has had was developed by Blizzard North.
That is amazing. I didn't know the history of them. I haven't much explored that part. On the PC side, I kind of like stopped and started with id because that's such a fascinating story. But I never explored Blizzard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's another good book. Masters of Doom, I think it's called.
Yep.
It's an excellent book. Kind of chronicles the history of id Games and their history with Apogee and all that fun stuff.
It is neat to see how far they took 3D technology.
And they're still at it today.
Yeah, they're doing a good thing with. I think the Bethesda folks are definitely working with them, right? ZeniMax, and I heard Doom Eternal is just chaotic and beautiful. I've never played it, but
I haven't played it yet. It looks gorgeous, though.
It's shocking. I want to play Doom 3 at some point. I know that's not everybody's favorite, but yeah, it looks creepy and scary.
Bump mapping. If you like bump mapping, Doom 3 is your game. Everything's wet.
That's a good way to put it. All right. So my last question to you, what is the Neptune?
The Neptune is a handheld Sega system that plays Genesis games. Am I right?
So very close. That is the Nomad.
Oh! What does the Neptune play?
One of my reviewers saw this. It is a Sega system. It was one of the last ditch efforts to save the Genesis. It was a 32X cartridge Genesis based system, all in one, no CD. That Tom Kalinske had planned on developing and selling, but the Sega of Japan kiboshed that idea and sent him packing, sadly, and then the Sega Saturn was regretfully born. So that was their last-ditch effort to hang on to the 32-bit market on the cartridge-based system.
As a 2D fighting game fan, I was really had a lot of respect for the Saturn because it had a special 2D processor just for games like that.
That 3D processor, just nobody wanted to work with it. Did you ever play the Street Fighter versus Capcom import?
Oh yeah, that was the main game. My friend had a Saturn and he had that game, and I was like, there's actually I don't know if it was the import. So I played Street Fighter versus X-Men, I think.
That might have been it. That actually might be the original one. I always get it mixed up because I know they switch between things. I know if it's the same game, there is an option to play a Japanese newscaster who they had put in the game, like a guy he was absolutely amazing. Like
he wears
if you
like
knew
a
how to use
suit
it
or something.
He wears like a traditional, like comfortable news anchor outfit with like a bag in it, and he'd throw like protractors and pencils at you. It was fantastic. They never brought him back, I don't believe, but those were the days. Okay.
Final question. And this one's could be obscure, but if you know it, you'll know it. In addition to making games that still haunt children from the 80s, Tiger Electronics developed what handheld game system with internet connectivity?
Oh my lord, I actually don't know this because I hate Tiger so much. It's always disappointment with them for me when I was a kid. So I don't know. I did not know they did that.
It is the Gamecom.
The Gamecom.
Did you ever hear of the Gamecom?
No.
Did you ever see the ads? In the ads, they run the one tagline. Every time you turn on the system, it says Gamecom active in a very monotone voice.
I'm gonna look this up. It
actually had
so incredibly ugly.
It had PDA features, it had a touch screen, and you could hook it up to a dial-up modem, but it had poor reception and only a handful of games were ever made.
It's got PDA features. That's fantastic.
So that is the Gamecom.
Okay, I've got to post this in the chat so everybody can suffer with us. It's on a website called Crappy Games.
So that's how we'll end the show with the Gamecom.
Well, this was a fun time. We'll come back next week with more questions and continue this. But thank you for adding for doing this at the end. This is so much fun. All right. Well, we are at the end. We will be back next week with more content for you, esports industry related. I know Ubisoft just announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so we'll definitely be reporting on that and hopefully some other things that other companies are bringing out. I know we're sort of getting into that E3 time period, so we should be getting a lot of exciting news about pretty much everything. So until next week, I hope you all stay safe and have a great day, and we'll catch you later.